That was a big sort of revelation at the beginning of all of this for me in 2013. And it was also related to this idea that, so if an angel could visit me in a dream and show me the future, then clearly humans can gain access to some part of the future somehow through the spirit realm. And you could say, well, maybe the elites experiment with these things, through channeling and through substances and through all this other stuff. And unless you have a perfect sort of oracle, and even then, if the oracle's perfect, it's like knowing the future changes it. And that was the interesting thing about my dream, was that the future was shown to me, but I didn't understand it. I couldn't, it didn't affect really, it did affect how I acted, probably, yes. But because I couldn't see what these images meant, like clearly, until after the events that they were predicting, there seemed to be sort of like this like a stopgap in terms of how it would affect my actions in the world, Because if this angel would have showed me like, oh yeah, this is the woman that you're going to marry, that's a way of seeing the future that I don't think anybody would want. And that, let's say that it is possible to see the future in that way, maybe through like I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Operation Looking Glass, which I believe was a supposed CIA attempt of divining the future or something like this, So apparently these things are possible. But I guess what I'm saying is, like, trying to see the future can make you crazy. And I don't advise it. You want to use the tarot deck to explore the unconscious, to explore, your own mind. I think it's a great tool for that, I believe. And it's just like with black magic, like, people want to like control reality. They want this person to fall in love with them. They want to get the job that they're going for. They want to manipulate reality to some degree. I just think that's, I don't know, man, like it goes against everything I feel like I learned from my experience, that you don't want to try to mess with the future in the way that I'm talking about here. And again, I don't know if I'm being clear about this, but I do feel like the tarot is worthy of like a whole video, and it would be fun to, I've met a couple people recently who are much more knowledgeable about these things than I am, so I got a lot of questions. That might be a fun way to explore my own ignorance, about these things, because for sure there is a lot out there to learn, and I am barely scratching the surface. So I've often thought about how could you turn the chart into a game, into like a video game. Just sort of imagining a game that's taking place. I've thought of a lot of different angles on it, but the simplest angle is like, yeah, you're in the spirit realm. The chart is like maybe 7 or 8 different worlds, let's say. You would have the world of the root chakra, which is all about the physical realm. And you'd have to go there and complete some tasks and, and hopefully learn a little bit about the history of spirituality or, the history of religions. I thought that might be a kind of a cool angle on the chart. I do love the idea of a tool that's attractive to kids that also educates them, and that I think was always the promise of media in general. Even the early days of television, people were kind of saying, this is going to be amazing for children, and to educate them. And here we are. And yes, to some degree that's true, but I don't know if we've really even scratched the surface of that in terms of its potential, because television has obviously become a very mixed bag. Well, this is still so new. I try to remind myself sometimes that all this technology and all these experiments are new. I mean, can't even really get our brains around America as an experiment. It's been going on for 250 years or so, but that is still pretty new. Like we don't know the consequences quite yet, where all this is going to go.